In the headlines, massive fire burns down Samsung headquarters in Abuja. Hoodlums attack lawyer, judicial officers in Gombe. NBA reacts. Ilobu community cry out for help over decaying infrastructure. On the foreign scene, South Africa recalls diplomats from Israel over ongoing Gaza war. Hello there, welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. We begin in Abuja as a massive fire outbreak in Wuse 2 has destroyed buildings and goods worth billions of naira in a Monday evening incident. The incident reportedly started from a welding outfit located close to a story building housing the Samsung headquarters at Banex Junction. The fire service, in response to the distress call, arrived at the scene only to be disrupted by onlookers, leading to a police intervention before rescue operations began. According to the fire service, the delay caused the fire to intensify and spread throughout the building. However, efforts were made to contain the blaze from spreading to nearby structures and the filling station in the area. It took the firefighters over 6 hours to extinguish the flames. Both the Federal Fire Service and the FCT Fire Service maintained one station each on standby until daybreak.
They are just coming. They are just coming. Just now. Just now. After how many? Everything has already burnt off. They are running. People don't pursue them. People don't pursue them. No need of coming. No need. If you know how many people that lost their job today.
Well, a little earlier, we spoke to Assistant Controller, Federal Fire Service, Abraham Paul, who gave us an update on the incident.
Well, very unfortunate incident that happened yesterday up until this morning at Banex Junction. That's the Samsung showroom in Wuse 2. From indication, it's suggestive of the fact that the fire incident started at 19:00 hours. That's about 7 p.m. Nigerian time. And but we got the distress call about 7:30. We immediately deployed our men from the Wuse station, which is in Zone 3. So by 7:38, they were in the vicinity. But unfortunately, hoodlums and miscreants, under the guise of late coming, would not allow us to carry out our function. What they intended actually was to go in there and maybe loot some of those electronics and all of that. We had to now call off the Civil Defense Corps and then the Nigerian police to give us backup. We had very strong information that if we go in there, they were going to attack us. So we needed that backup. Once we had the backup, we swung into action. Unfortunately, it was already a full-blown inferno, but we couldn't have risked our machine to hoodlums and miscreants. So we needed to make sure that safety was first for us, the priority, as always. And so once we moved in, we tried to confine the fire to a particular building where it started from. The essence is that just beside the Samsung showroom, sharing fence with Eternal Oil, that's a filling station, and then on the other side is an incomplete building. Behind them is a hotel, 3-star hotel as the case may be. So we needed to make sure we confine the fire to, that space, and that we did. Further information we now got was that within the building was seated 8,000 liters of diesel, which we also had to ensure that did not explode. So it was a lot of work. We started at about 7:50 and up until 3 a.m. this morning before we were able to take out all the embers and restore the building to. It was a full-blown inferno. Everything in that complex is fuel, waiting to burn. Everything, from piece of papers to design to nylon to electronics to gadgets to wires to refrigerators to gas, just name it. The whole building was laden with fuel, and so extinguishment wasn't going to come easy. I'll tell you on good authority, I was there in person. I arrived there about 8:40, and I was there up until 3 a.m. As long as I became the incident commander, considering that I became the most senior fire officer on ground. So I was coordinating both the FCT Fire Service and the Federal Fire Service. We had tons of machines coming in. We had machines coming from Ute, coming from the FCT. Two of the machines came. We had machines coming from Gariki. We had like 4 water tenders, ensuring that we get adequate water.
Well, that was the public relations officer of the Federal Fire Service speaking to us a little earlier on the Banex Junction fire incident. Now, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, on Tuesday received the Irish ambassador to Nigeria, Peter Ryan. Speaking on the theme of the visit, Wike says Nigeria indeed enjoys the bilateral relations with Ireland, and the Federal Capital Territory will leverage this to promote job creation and improve education, as well as agriculture, among many others. He emphasized the need to develop information and communication technology in the Federal Capital Territory, seeking partnership of Irish investors to improve the sector. Highlighting the unemployment rate in Nigeria, Wike says the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is making efforts to address it, adding that there should be an evaluation of achievements both countries have attained over the years to further plan ahead. On his part, the Irish ambassador to Nigeria says the meeting is to foster bilateral ties as well as collaborations that will strengthen the international partnership between Nigeria and Ireland. He spoke on the confidence he has in Nigeria and the mutual relationship both countries have shared over the years, adding that Ireland has a large population of Nigerians that are tremendously impacting the development of the country in different areas such as politics, arts, business, and many others. In a display of readiness and commitment to ensuring a safe and secure environment for the upcoming off-cycle gubernatorial election, the combined force of Operation Safe Conduct has been launched in Kogi with a show of force. The operation was flagged off at the headquarters of the 12th Brigade of the Nigerian Army Parade Ground, Chari Magumeri Barrack, in Lokoja on Monday by the General Officer commanding 2 Division of the Nigerian Army, Major General Bamidele Alabi. The General Officer commanding said the ceremony signposted the readiness and preparations the Nigerian Army has over the years put in place in support of other stakeholders in the electoral process in Nigeria and in Kogi State in particular. The GOC urged citizens to cooperate with the security agencies and report any suspicious activity that would undermine the peaceful conduct of the forthcoming election in Kogi State this Saturday. Troops of the Nigerian Army have arrested a lawyer at Riming Zayam village in Toro local government area of Bauchi State. This was disclosed in a statement on Tuesday via the Nigerian Army's X handle. According to the tweet, the suspect equally admitted to being involved in kidnapping activities and other sundry crimes with other gang members in the state. Similarly, troops of Operation Safe Haven have arrested 6 suspected bandits in Bokos and Riom local government area of Plateau State. The first 3, Ibrahim Mohammed, Saliu Abdullahi and Idris Abdullahi, were quizzed by the troops on October 30th in connection with the attack on farmers at Mehakuringol village, while the other 3 suspects, David Emmanuel, Moses Daliop and Gerbel Davu, were arrested over the murder of a commercial tricyclist at Shorong village. The Nigerian Bar Association in Gombe State has petitioned the Commissioner of Police to investigate a mob attack on 2 of its members. An upper area court judge, a lawyer and a judicial staff were attacked while on duty to adjudicate disputed land property in Balanga local government area of Gombe State. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail tells us more.
Some may consider this a job hazard, but law is usually considered a safe profession by all standards. For Barrister Usman Yahya, the attack on his life in connection with his everyday job has put him in a critical situation. A judge at Upper Area Court 3, Ayuba Bubadalas, and a judicial officer were also at the receiving end of a mob attack in Balanga local government area of Gombe State. The location court proceeding, also known as Locus in Co., was attending to legal matter when hoodlums in connection with the case violently attacked them. Barrister Usman Yahya, who is now recovering from his injuries, is demanding justice from the system.
When we reached the farmland, the defendants and their civilians attack us with leather weapons such as sticks. They attack us without any explanation. From then, we escaped from them, and my client, they took me to Cottage Hospital, Digiri, when I received the first aid treatment.
The Nigerian Bar Association, Gombe State Branch, in a swift reaction, has written the Commissioner of Police to investigate the matter.
So, but if people have the audacity to attack the court, then, it might be beyond the powers or the capacity or capability of the division or the outpost within the vicinity of the scene of crime. Simply, that was why we petitioned the Commissioner of Police. If anything could be done from the CID, they have more manpower, vehicles, armed personnel, and more trained personnel that would, swing to action to be able to investigate the matter. If there be need to arrest whoever is involved.
Usman, who is now recuperating, has voiced concern over an attempt on his life and is reeling from last Saturday's incident, which he considered as a threat to the administration of justice in the country. But the lawyer, although shaken by the event, is unmoved by the development.
If they did not take the immediately action, this kind of acts will occur to another persons. So for the interest of masses, they ought to take an immediate action on that issue.
The NBA has condemned the assault on its members while calling on Nigerians to respect the rule of law and preserve the integrity and dignity of the judiciary. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
To Lagos State now, where the Magistrate Court in Yaba on Monday sent back to custody a 37-year-old auxiliary nurse arrested by the police in connection with the controversial death of Afrobeat star Mohbad. The nurse, it was alleged, gave the late singer some injections that resulted in his death. In the same vein, the magistrate Adeola Olatunbosun ordered the continued detention of Ayobani Sadiq, a friend to Mohbad, being held as a principal suspect in the case. The magistrate had granted bail in the sum of 20 million naira each to Mohbad's ex-boss Naira Marley and a Lagos socialite Sam Larry, who were also implicated in Mohbad's death and taken into custody by the police back in October. Now, the infrastructure deficit in Nigeria is multiplying as more communities decry the effects of dilapidated or non-existent infrastructure, making life socioeconomically difficult for most residents. In Ilobu town of Osun State, the collapse of 2 bridges means the community has been cut off from accessing basic amenities like schools and farms. Hamid Oyegbade files in this report.
Ilobu is one of the big towns in Osun State and headquarters of the old Irepodun local government. This town has endured years of neglect from the government with its decaying infrastructure. The recent collapse of 2 bridges connecting the town to farmlands and basic amenities such as schools and hospitals means life for residents in the area has been significantly disrupted. Without the bridge, there's not much the people can do.
Since the bridge has sunk, many students are not finding it easy to come to school. The school attendance is very low nowadays.
Every first term, the population of the school increased more. But now that the bridge has collapsed, many parents are avoiding their students not to come to our school again through this bridge that has collapsed.
It has actually deprived our younger ones the right access to their school environments. And this has actually affected them to reduce the number of students to be coming to school for each terms of the session.
And it has become a very serious problem since last year that the bridge collapsed totally. And we have been making appeals. We have been praying to government at different levels, different agencies to come to our aid so that the situation will not continue like this.
An appeal for urgent intervention by government has become necessary as socio-economic activities continue to slow down. For residents, the time for infrastructure development has come.
What actually complicated it, you see the second bridge, is that used to be like the alternative, but now, in fact, no vehicle can cross to this side again. So we appreciate government quick intervention before we start losing lives, please.
New roads and bridges have become a top priority for Ilu-Obu, and a timely intervention from government will breathe life back into this town and its people as they keep hope alive for a quick turnaround. Amid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Oshogbo.
Well, you're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up ahead. In Lagos, no fish for sale as traders go on indefinite strike. More on this and many other stories after the break.
It was never a consensus. We did all our best. You see, in politics, you give your contribution to the best of your ability.
If you want, I'll forward to you this statement. You go to this bank and verify.
But there are people who say not spending money is not about you in itself.
Let me finish.
Because there's so much to be done.
Let me finish. Now, you don't allow me to explain myself.
The recent development shows abductions are now a factor of informants embedded in community.
It's not about the people of Katsina to say that, no, during my administration I was able to stop insecurity. No, it's about collective responsibility for all of us.
And what we should ask ourselves is not what has been seen, is the life better? Are there more people who are unemployed who are not become employed? Is the level of corruption has gone down? Is there inclusion? All those issues.
We're actually a gas country with associated oil. Our focus has always been on oil, that we have never paid significant attention to gas.
To do it effectively, we need to have honest conversation with ourselves. Government needs to come down from its higher horse and communicate with the people and build trust.
There must be a solution. We cannot continue this way. They must come back to the table and agree. So whose child will do deny education? All these children that sit for them, they want to go to higher institutions.
But just a short while ago, you were saying that why bring 10 children when you cannot cater for them? So why bring more universities when you cannot cater for the existing?
Welcome back to the news. Here's a quick reminder of our top stories. A massive fire has burned down Samsung showroom in Abuja. Hoodlums attack lawyer, judicial officer in Gombe as NBA reacts. Now, the Central Bank of Nigeria's lifting of the forex ban on 43 items has divided opinions as industry players weigh the impact of the decision and its impact on their businesses. Some say the move by the Apex Bank will be counterproductive to the operations of local businesses who may go under if they are forced to compete with imported goods.
The fuel subsidy removal has actually affected cost of transporting of animals. Like, for example, now sometimes they were bringing chicken all the way from native chicken from Katsina, also from Jigawa. Sometimes we pay to the tune of 70,000 naira, but now it's actually times 3 of that. And if we're bringing cows from Adamawa, then we'll pay 900,000 naira to bring in 35 or 26 bulls. Right now we're paying 1.8 million naira to transport, sometimes 2.5 million naira just to transport cows from Adamawa down to Abuja. And from Katsina down to Lagos like that, to send bulls like that, cows, now it's costing almost 3.2 million naira just to transport in alone. So it has affected business as in every way. Even the consumption itself has actually reduced. You see, the price, some family households that can be able to afford 10 chicken now can just afford 5. Those that can afford 5 are now buying 2, and those that are buying 2 are now buying 1.
Now, amid the mounting food inflation gripping Nigeria today, fish traders in the Agege area of Lagos State have initiated an indefinite strike. The fish sellers have halted sale of fish to local residents while appealing to the government to take urgent steps to reduce the rising cost of fish in the market. Victoria Tokolo sent in this report after a visit to the market on Monday. Her report is presented from our studio.
Agege Main Market, a bustling hub for perishable goods, has witnessed a noticeable decline in activity as fish sellers have initiated an indefinite strike, coupled with dwindling consumer patronage. Today, the fish sellers took to the streets, marching through the market and intercepting anyone attempting to vend fish to customers. They collected fish scales and gathered at the main market secretariat for a collective assembly. Iyaoja of Agege, Monsurat Ajayi, says that the strike will persist until the government addresses their demand to lower fish prices in the cold storage facilities. Escalating prices have left both common man and the fish sellers grappling with repercussions of the price surge.
Last week we no get money. Now they eat pala. No, we no fit eat pala again. 40,000 for 10 kilo. They won't kill us. One pala, 10,000, 7,000 we dey sell am. Money no go complete still. So what you want us to do? They say don't cool it.
Broke a rate of 35,000, 35,000, 38,000, but now it's 58,000 naira. Latest 60,000 naira. 9 months before it's 38,000. Now it's 78,000 naira. So we can't afford it anymore.
But now when we dey buy 6,000, now it's 25,000. This one, I'm buy it 9,000 before, but now it's 35,000 in 12 pieces of fish inside the bag. So I'm tired. I don't fit do business again. Make Nigeria help us.
The substantial rise in fish prices has not only affected the fish sellers, but has placed a heavy burden on everyday consumers, making it increasingly challenging for them to purchase fish for themselves and their families.
For many years back, you can get fish like 200 or 150, but recently just things change immediately. That puppy cannot afford to buy it. We can get panda 4 now, 4 at the rate of 600.
Now if you no hold 1.5, 2,000, you no go fit buy panda fish. Ejaigu, they're not even near am before. Now na hot cake.
The fish sellers are earnestly appealing to government to take immediate action in reducing fish prices within the cold storage facilities. Furthermore, they are asking for a solution to the issue of fuel prices, as it is a significant factor contributing to the soaring cost of fish within the cold storage facilities.
Still talking business, the Naira has crashed against the dollar on Monday, falling to 1,030 Naira to the dollar on the average in the parallel market, losing the momentum it gathered last week. This represents an 80 Naira loss, or 8.42% decline of the Nigerian Naira compared to the 950 Naira it closed last week Friday. This is also the first time the Naira is falling since the Central Bank of Nigeria began to clear some of its FX backlog last week. Now, according to the president of the Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria, Aminu Gwadebe, The dollar has gained against the naira because people who had bought it at a higher price are resisting its fall following the Central Bank of Nigeria's move last week. On the foreign scene, South Africa announced it's withdrawing all its diplomats from Tel Aviv for consultation over Israel's ongoing war on Gaza. South Africa also said the cabinet has instructed the foreign ministry to take necessary measures via diplomacy to deal with the conduct of Israel's ambassador to South Africa, whose conduct, she said, is becoming very untenable. According to the statement, they accuse the Israeli ambassador of making disparaging comments against those who raise voices against attacks on Palestinians. South Africa has held over a dozen protests since the recent Israeli-Palestinian conflict started on October 7. Activists have been calling for the expulsion of Israeli ambassador from Pretoria and a recall of South African diplomats from Tel Aviv. Israel has launched air and ground raids on the Gaza Strip following a cross-border attack by Palestinian resistance group Hamas back in October. Israeli bombardments in Gaza Strip have killed at least 10,022 Palestinians, including 4,104 children and 2,641 women. The Israeli death toll is nearly 1,600 according to official figures. Besides the large number of casualties and massive displacements due to the Israeli siege of the region, basic supplies are also running low for Gaza's 2.3 million residents. Talking sports, Bam Adebayo's triple-double helped the Miami Heat hold off LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers to a 108-107 victory. Adebayo recorded 22 points, 20 rebounds and 10 assists, while Jimmy Butler contributed a season high of 28 points. Miami had seen a 10-point lead reduced to just one as LeBron James scored 7 of his game-high 30 points during a 1-minute 19 seconds period in the fourth quarter. Joel Embiid made 48 points, 11 rebounds and 6 assists as the Philadelphia Sixers beat Washington Wizards 146-128 points. Antetokounmpo made the tie-breaking basket with 71 seconds remaining on the clock to end the game on 36 points and 12 rebounds, while Cam Thomas led with 45 points in the Nets' loss. Stephen Curry scored 34 points as the Golden State Warriors took a 120-109 victory against the Detroit Pistons. Well, that's it. You're up to date with the latest news stories at this hour. Thank you most kindly for joining us. A quick reminder, you can follow us across our social media platforms to catch up with more of our contents. And take a look at our website, trusttv.com, for the latest news. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you for watching.